Hi, and welcome back to HomeFix's podcast number 3. I'm not going to say it, but Happy New Year. This is our first podcast of 2025. And we're lucky enough today to have a special guest with us, all the way from Milton Keynes, Global Exposure. And Barry.
And me again, Barry. I'm all right, thank you.
So Barry has just come back down to planet Earth after celebrating 50 years.
Yeah, it makes me
Seriously.
try and make me feel even older. Thanks for
Yes, moving on. He's had 50 years on this planet and he has celebrated very well, haven't you, Buzz?
I suppose it's about the first week. It's taken February to kick in for me to actually feel normal after celebrating pretty much all of January. So
I do have to say,
I'm back in the room. Yeah.
You did start to look 90, not 50.
I started to feel 90 if I'm honest. But yeah, no celebrations out the way and refocus, go again.
Barry,
Well, no,
You are.
only 50 once, but it lasts a year. So
Yeah.
But that's the thing, though. There's still loads of people got me gifts, got me vouchers and experiences. So there's still things to plan in, book in. So there's still a lot to look.
Not over yet. What?
Look forward to. Yeah, still a lot to look forward to.
But moving on to business, we have had a good January. It's been challenging. Weather has been freezing. The team have still been working though. They've been out there grafting hard. Really challenging weather. It is always at this time of year, but we do work not 365 days a year, not quite that. But yeah, we do still fit fascia, soffits, guttering and cladding throughout the year.
Yeah, I mean this time of year, it's horrible even getting out there. I think even our customers have a perception that you don't do this work this time of year. You get a lot of people ringing us up, and we're still going out and doing surveys. And people say, "Oh, I'll put it off. I'm just gathering information at the moment. I'll put it off till the spring."
Yeah.
But which I'm still trying to say, so look, no, don't. We do this all year round. It's not ideal. The guys have got to get up there and handle scaffold towers when sometimes it's like -2, -3, and because we've got to move people's roof tiles, they're frozen solid, and you can't do anything. So credit to the team. They still get up at the crack of dawn to get to site and work in these horrible temperatures. Not just the temperature sometimes as well. It's that you get that wind and the rain,
wind
the
and
drizzle.
the worst.
Storms seem to be coming along every other week. It's like they've already pre-named the storms 12 months in advance.
Yeah,
Absolutely. They're going out for it.
But is there actually any conditions you wouldn't work in?
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's because they're working at height, so they're at 5 meters height at times. Sometimes it's 7 or 8 meters. And yeah, it's so extreme wind.
Yeah, okay.
So obviously, because we're working with pieces of PVC that are 5 meters long, so they land like a wind sail, So it will just go flying.
Like a kite,
Yeah.
But heavy rain, because we're taking back the roof tiles of the house in order to do a full replacement fascia soffit, you're exposing the house to the elements, so you have to be careful. And power tools. You can't have all the power tools getting soaking wet. So heavy rain, wind, sometimes extreme frost, because literally the tiles are frozen shut. You just can't do anything. And it's also so bitter. The guys sometimes can't feel their hands. I actually went onto this famous thing on Facebook. I always get done up on these little things on Facebook.
You do.
I bought them heated gloves. They weren't heated gloves at all. And then when I complained to them, it came from a place in China, and they said, "Oh, please send them back." And it was like, cost more to send back.
The gloves themselves.
They said, "If you send us another £20, we'll send you the heated ones because you ordered the wrong ones." Like, so yeah, got tucked up on heated gloves, but they do exist. You can actually get heated clothing for every part of your body.
You can.
Just don't order it from China.
It won't be.
I found that out. It won't be heated. No.
Well, you've got to be hot for them to heat up, haven't you?
So they're battery powered.
Battery powered.
I did actually get them.
With the battery though.
I did get one of the team a heated gilet, and it's got a DeWalt battery in it, and you charge it up, you click it in, and it heats up.
I think it works well.
So he's not tried it.
Oh.
Well, you think he would, but I
Yeah.
think after a while, once you actually get moving, though, you can understand when your hands are cold. But
Yeah.
So January has been cold
and long, and
long,
gone for
and
yeah.
it was like a whole year and 1 month. Was it?
Yeah, long old month.
But it has
spring next month though.
Yes,
Clocks go forward next month.
Bright days.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes. So there's lots to look forward to. And the other couple of things, what else have we been working on?
I've got a new brochure coming out. So when you start doing surveys in the next couple of weeks, every survey I'll go to will be presenting a brochure to try and reinforce what we're trying to, the journey that all our customers are going to be going on. So yeah, so lots of different things. You know, we know the website's now up and running, so we're always changing that. And thanks to this, thanks to this guy over here, but I'm not,
Well,
I'm not
with
going to,
all of
not going to
this-
steal his thunder.
It is, yes. It's doing really well, actually. We're
Well,
really happy.
that's over to you two.
Yeah.
That's your little baby, isn't it?
It
I
is,
tried to
yes,
I steer clear of that. I'm out of the office where you're in the office, so.
yeah.
But I don't want to steal his thunder. I'll let him talk about websites
Absolutely,
and everything
yeah.
in a minute.
Another thing we've been working on, we have done a very romantic Valentine's Day competition, which has absolutely been brilliant. And I'm loving, or it may be too late now, but I've loved reading all the Valentine's love stories. I don't know if either of you have sat and read them. I've read every single person's love story, and yeah, it's really romantic. And I can't wait to announce the winners at the end of this week for Valentine's.
But by the time this goes out, it would have happened, right?
It will have, yeah. So by this time, we will actually know who the winner is. But I do hope there were some really romantic stories, and you know, it really did touch my heart, and it made me feel all happy and loved.
I'm pretty certain that the only person who's really read all them is you.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, I'm not too sure I've read a single one.
Oh, that's so rude.
At least you're right.
Yeah, at
Well, no,
least,
yeah,
honestly, it's
you
the
know,
best policy.
but that's the idea of a partnership, right? In business, that you know, you do certain elements of the business that you will look after, and certain elements I look after.
Yeah, fair.
You want to read all the love stories? I probably do not.
Thanks a lot. Okay, any other things been going on? We've been pushing our referrals. We've had quite a few referrals again this month. So we offer a £20 gift voucher for any referral from, you know, somebody you want to recommend. So we've been pushing that, and we've had a couple again this month, which is great. So vouchers are on their way out to those people. And what else, Barry? What else have we been working on in January?
Just trying to drive the business forward, really. It's such a hard time of the year because there's such a perception out there that with the new sort of government coming in, everyone's worried about money. And January's such a long month anyway. Everyone got paid pre-Christmas. So I'm finding a lot of the feedback I'm getting from excuse me, from our surveys is generally that. Whereas you'd go and quote a house and you might offer a whole house solution, a lot of people are now asking, look, what if I just did the front? What if I just did the back? So there's a massive concern. But I think I found that last January and February. But I honestly think that this bad weather just after Christmas, everyone has this mindset. And you just need the sun to shine, the clocks to go forward, the daylight. Everyone has that.
Such a big difference to what we do.
So it's although the phones are ringing a lot and we are getting out there a lot of people still just thinking, right, wait till the spring. So it's just trying to get people's mindset, because there's massive benefits to doing what we do this time of year, because you'll find that this time of year the gutters are blocked, the water's overflowing, their fascias are rotten. So the longer you leave it, the worse it's going to get. So the longer the decay goes on say on a roof line, then so the ideal time of doing that, if you know you need it doing now, just get it done.
Yeah.
Save your money for the summer and go on your summer holiday. Get your work done now.
And it's been really challenging with pricing. We've had quite a few customers. I'm not too sure I fully understand why, but they've been pretty much trying to avoid things like scaffolding costs. Now, we don't add scaffolding costs just for our own benefit. We do it because it's safe for the team to do the work, and safety has to be paramount for us. But there are a lot of customers that are saying, oh, I've managed to get it cheaper elsewhere. They've saved themselves X amount of pounds, but actually somebody's going to be doing that really unsafely, which we have seen some. Was it just yesterday, Barry?
Well, yesterday and last week.
Some hideous photos of people climbing on literally up ladders that are like,
What, fit in a gutter up a ladder?
Oh no, not just that. This
a length really awkwardly looks like, you know, they may just fall off.
no, well,
It was pretty hideous.
yeah, this guy's literally on a scaffold and he's got a ladder at an angle that could just simply slip, and he's stood there with a jet wash on a roof, and he's bouncing on the ladder trying to get it further up the roof
On a scaffolding.
But it's using the scaffold to get him to that next level of height. I mean, which is a massive no anyway, but it was peeing down the rain, so that ladder's resting on that scaffold, so that's soaking wet. It's only a piece of wood that it's resting on. It's not like it's resting on anything safe. So yeah, that's one of the. Get so many people ring us up and go, yeah, I've had a quote and it's X amount cheaper, and you say, oh, if I can delve a little deeper, what was the difference? Oh yeah, they're using their own scaffold. So what do you mean using their own scaffold? And sometimes you'll drive by and these guys are
hanging off a ladder.
Hanging off ladders. They're
Nutters.
just to earn a day's money, and if you fall from 5 meters, guess what? You're dead.
You're gonna,
Yeah.
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, if you fall on the scaffold, you might break your leg, but if you fall to the ground, you're probably dead.
Which
So
is really crazy.
we're finding that there's just so many reasons
People are
people
prepared to do crazy things
Yeah.
to earn that extra job, and
job.
we just don't believe it's worth the risk. You know, at the end of the day, the team have to be safe. They have to do the job safely. And you know, at the end of the day, if I had somebody working in my house, I would want them to be safe as well. I wouldn't want them to be hanging off a ladder.
You wouldn't be making them a cup of tea and saying, "Whoa!"
Yeah, to imagine.
Is there any other alternative? Well, obviously, so like one extreme is someone going up a ladder 5
Yeah.
meters to fit a fascia-sophic gutter, whatever. Or the other alternative is the scaffolding. Is there anything in the middle?
Yeah, we do have our own access equipment, but it's
Yeah.
limited to it can go up in a straight line or it can go at certain angles. But so many houses now where people have had extensions,
Yeah, yeah.
conservatories, or the porch is at the front of the house that comes out, that automatically stops anything going up in a straight line. So if a house is quite open, you can put a tower up and we can work quite safely. So that's fine.
Yeah.
It's just most of the time, and because majority of our work is Milton Keynes, and every house is on top of one another. So where you've got two houses next to each other, and the alleyway is like less than a metre wide, you can't get an angle to get up to work at 7 or 8 metres high.
Yeah.
We see people do it, and it's ridiculous. But we're just not going to be one of those companies that, because we're a family-run business, and we're very middle of the road when it comes to pricing.
Mhm.
But what we are up against is sole traders.
Mhm.
So they're not VAT registered, whereas we're VAT registered. So obviously the VAT is an amount that customer can never cut back because they're not a VAT registered business. They're just an end user. Then you've got the people that are prepared to do it off ladders. So the amount of times that people say to me, I've had a quote, but it's cheaper. And then you sort of say, yeah, but is it like for like? Because when we've got this brochure coming out now, part of that promise in this brochure that we'll leave with people is what they call a price promise. So we're going to guarantee to be any like for like quote. But this is the problem. What is like for like?
Yeah, of course.
Now, there's so many people tell you, oh, I've got exactly what you're quoting me. But no one really actually reads the specification. Because even after we've done jobs, people will ring us up and go, oh, did you put ventilation in my... I was like, yeah, it's in your specification. Oh, yeah, it's on line 3.
But a lot of people do that. Nobody really reads.
It's not small,
print.
but it's not the small
Yeah.
print. That's the thing. It's not the small print. The small print is things like your T's and C's.
Let's be honest. When you're
People
reading
go to the
something,
price.
you're going straight to the price. Or
course,
something. If you're skim reading all of it and straight to that bottom line, that's what we all do that.
Yeah.
Surely that's what we all do. So I kind of get that, but it's just taking the time and just reminding our customers that all the extra bits that we put in to prevent for health and safety, to make it for ventilation, all of that kind of stuff we add in, don't we?
But that's what the brochure's about, is now to, I suppose, give people that peace of mind of what we're quoting by saying it's like for like. And we think we'll very rarely need to use it because in order for me to gauge whether it's like for like, that person's got to give me the quote. So I'm going to have to see the competitor's quote in order to determine myself if it's like for like.
Nobody likes to do that. Nobody likes to share.
Everyone keeps it a secret.
We get it. Honestly, exactly.
So who's your other quote from? Oh, I'd rather not tell you.
Yeah, I need to blank out names and this. It's like, well, we need to know if it's like for like in order to be able to beat this price or at least match it. So it's similar in our.
It's like an unwritten rule, isn't it? Oh no, no,
I
I
wanna
can't
tell
talk
you.
about the competition.
Or the best ones are it's just an email. It's like, well, you could have just literally like
Yeah,
made
that
that
yourself.
email and just like send it over to me. Like, how do I know that's official?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're all up against it.
Yeah.
It's all part and parcel of sales, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I guess that's absolutely.
Yeah, but that one was talking about yesterday where the guy was balancing off the ladder. I actually quoted that back in November. And I think that was it yesterday or the day before? We did a TikTok and a reel
yes.
showing the reasons why you shouldn't cap over old wood. And capping over old wood is a very thin layer of PVC where you put it around your roof line and leave all the existing roof line in place.
We ain't getting that like rotted wood and stuff though.
But that's I don't know if you saw the reel I did yesterday, but that is exactly. I went down and showed the customer the video afterwards, and it was just, you could just peel it away. The wood was just so rotten. It was probably months away from starting to fall off in the first place. But the customer who declined the quote back in November was 3 doors down, and that's where I saw this scaffold up. And he's having the whole thing capped. Yeah,
That's caused loads of
exactly.
But
But he's paid for a scaffold.
Yeah.
So he's paid all that money for the scaffold to go up.
Yeah.
Then the
And then
guy's using the ladder off the scaffold. So he's not paid for scaffold for the whole house. He's tried to cut corners by putting scaffold on part of it, then use ladders off that scaffold to get to other. It's just.
So you paid for a little bit of scaffold.
Yeah,
It's just exactly.
Got it for half the price.
But and on that video yesterday, I said, buy cheap, buy twice. Where are you off to, mate?
Sorry, I really had to move. I felt really like
buy cheap, buy twice, because people will sell you this low maintenance dream that if you go and put, oh, don't worry about it, just we'll leave all the old wood up there, and if you're good at selling, you will sell that dream to someone by saying, but I'll save you this money.
Of course, it's the price driven.
What they don't tell you is that in 5, 6, 7 years' time, when that is rotten as a pear,
it's going through the house.
You got to do it all again, and that's the thing. It can do. It can then lead into mold and mildew in your house. It can get into your, if it gets behind the soffits, it's there's a right way and a wrong way of doing things, and we like to pride ourselves that we do things the right way. Do it right first time. Put the guarantees in place. There's no way you can guarantee putting a thin layer of PVC over someone's old wooden roof line and say it's a 10-year guarantee. You can say it. You can put it on a piece of paper.
A lot of people say
whether they're still here in 10 years. But we get a lot of people that, we don't invoice customers until the end of the job. We ring them up, or Nikki will ring them up and just say, right, we're done. Waste is collected. Are you happy with the work? Brilliant. Then we send the invoice. The amount of people we come across that said, any chance you can help me out? I've paid this customer, they've paid this guy, and he's got, what? Why have you paid them up front? It's like, I get a deposit, but some of these people are parting with 1,500, 2,000.
And we've seen quite a few horror stories where they've paid up front and done an absolute bodge job of it.
Yeah, and then disappear with the money.
Dare I say it, is that just the sector of work that you work in, i.e. trades and stuff? I mean, obviously people get
littered with, it is still littered. We're allied to the building or construction industry, so that is where there's even programs on telly called Cowboy Builders. So we are in that industry where you've got some people that are very quite relaxed about it. We've had jobs before like several thousands of pounds, and I've never met the customer. They'll say, oh, I'm at work, can you go and do a survey for us? And you send them a quote, I want to go with it. And then the scaffold goes up, and it's like, has anyone ever met this customer? No, because they're at work every day. They just left the gate open, crack on. Now that's good because they've seen, because it tends to be a recommend when we get that kind of thing.
Yeah.
The element of trust.
But there are definitely jobs we've done where I've never met the customer. Then you've got the other end of the scale where you've met people that have paid people up front and done a terrible job and never seen them again. And we've got to put it right. But that's we know, we hold our heads up high, and we know there's still cowboys out there. And going back to the whole scaffold and towers, there's only one way you can. PVC is 5 meters long, so if you're going to work with it, how can you be on a ladder in a straight line when the other piece that you need to fix is 5 meters down there? Now, okay,
some people do it on their own as well.
I don't know how you could physically be able to do that.
Yeah, without.
But you can physically. Well, one, it's risky, and two, they're never going to do it right. They're never going to get things straight, and and unfortunately, we drive by.
And that's basically what we're up against at the moment. It's that time of year. People are getting the work done because they need to at the moment, because they've got a leaking gutter or their fascia's rotten or something. It's the latter part where people are planning their projects and they're having it done in the summer or the spring, where people are not taking such
Well, no, the people that
tough decisions.
We get really busy in the spring and summer, don't we? We get into sort of 9, 10, 12-week lead time sometimes. And because that is where people go out into the garden, isn't it? And go, right, need to sort that out, need to sort my lawn out, look up and go,
hanging down.
Right, now I need to sort that out.
How often have you been outside of your house and started looking? You haven't, have you?
Every
in
day
the last...
I tell you when people do.
But you go in and you close the door in the nice and warm, don't you? But in the summer, you come out and then you start looking and going, people start looking at their gardens differently and the way their house looks because it's all lovely and stuff. But yeah, this time of year, you just want to get in and get warm.
Shut the door.
Yeah.
Well, you're the same. All Christmas, you're going, right, that's it, want a new sofa. And I guarantee you, the moment the clocks go forward, if the sofa's arrived, you'll be like, right, what we're doing outside.
Yeah.
Need to clean your decking, need to clean the barbecue.
Sofa. Yeah, that is absolutely true. I'm a little bit obsessed with getting a new sofa at the moment, but I want it to be right. So I am that particular HomeFix customer that wants to get it right. I'm very proud of that.
Fair play, yeah.
So what else has been going on since the last podcast? We have been and will be working with our charity for the year. And Dawn, bless her, wish you well. I hope she won't mind me saying, but she had quite a big operation bless her. But the team sound like they're holding the fort really well for her, and I know she's super proud of them. So yeah, a little bit of a plug for Dawn, the Henry Allen Trust. But we'll be working with her throughout the year, so lots to come from that as well.
Yeah, and watch this space, because the Henry Allen Trust have got a lot of events going to be going over the spring and the summer that we're going to be very much part of. So
we might get global exposure involved in this as well.
Yeah.
Dawn, I'm getting a little plug in it for you. So we were just talking about the fantastic, shiny, all bells, whistles website that we've got. We had the same website for 10 years. And it didn't have any bells and it didn't have any whistles on it, did it? So these guys spent quite a few months working really closely with us on our website, didn't you? And we've built great relationship doing that. So much so, they're now working with us on our Google Ads as well. And we will be moving on at some point to SEO and so forth. So, yeah, working closely with you. But I'm going to hand over to you now, Joe, to talk about what global exposure is.
Well, Global Exposure is a digital marketing agency, as you very well know. We specialize in website builds and digital marketing. So you mentioned PPC, SEO, social media marketing, email marketing.
So just a little bit there. PPC.
PPC.
What does that mean for people that don't know?
So quite simply, it's pay per click. So it's a Google ad, basically.
Yes.
Google
Yes.
ads.
Because the terminology's changed over the years.
I thought the PPC had been taken away, hadn't it?
No, PPC is the new
It's new one.
terminology for Google
Yeah.
Ads.
Well, so it comes and goes.
I was going to say that's gone around, hasn't it, a little bit?
So Google Ads is the correct terminology. They are Google Ads. So that when you're on Google and you have a sponsored link, that is a Google ad. So when you're doing a campaign, you're paying per click. So you're paying for someone to click on your advert that they see. So if I type in gutters Milton Keynes, HomeFix will come up as a sponsored ad.
Well, it better do if you
will. Yeah, fingers crossed.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Don't try that at home.
So that is what a Google ad is, and we've generated some fairly good business for you guys.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So that's part of what we do. So I mean, in an ideal world, we would talk to a customer, implement some website fixes, whether a new website build. You guys obviously needed a whole new website. However, we can go in and update a website and go that way.
So it's not just brand new websites that we had. You can work with their current website.
In an ideal world,
even if it's with a competitor's platform.
Yeah, I mean, so we work on different platforms. So WordPress is kind of an industry standard. What you build websites on. As I say, we can go in and fix stuff and add pages and stuff. In an ideal world, we would get the whole replacement, as you guys know, rather than a repair.
Yes.
Yeah, that's totally.
So yeah, we can do. But in an ideal world, we go in, start fresh, and then get the new website nice and shiny as yours is. And then from that point, we move on to a marketing campaign. So whether that be through SEO, social media, PPC, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot we do. We turned 5 last September, which was a big milestone for us and the team. I've been within the role. I started in May last year, so I'm still fairly new to the business, but I've known the founder and managing director Reese for a long time.
Yeah. Where's Reese now?
He's can't be
thrown under
today.
He is okay.
He is okay. Yeah.
He's more than okay.
He's more than okay. Yeah. He's sunning it up. Actually, to be fair to him, he's still working. He's in Dubai. Yeah, he went on a client and friend's wedding out there. So
very nice.
And he unfortunately can't be with us today. So I'm holding the fort. But yeah, he started the business when he was 19.
Wow.
So he's got his head screwed on.
So he's only 24.
24, turning 25 fairly, I want to say next Friday.
You better get him a car then.
Yeah. Or unless he extends his stay.
Still,
yeah, who knows?
You could post it to him.
Or fly out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. That would be quite nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
He'll go with you.
So he started the business when he was 19, and he's been i.e. making websites since he was a young lad, professionally doing it since he was 16, I think. So yeah, he's got his head screwed on, and I say I've only been with the business sort of 6 to 8 months type thing, and the granddad of the team.
Mm.
I mean, I'm 35. I won't sound really old, but yeah, most of the team.
You're not
in their
50 though,
20s.
Joe.
Not
You're not
50, no.
50.
All right.
It's not far off it though. Not far off it.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Same hairline though.
Oh no, yeah. Same here, no.
Yeah, but he chooses to have his hair like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't.
I don't. I think nature chose that.
Yeah, yeah. Genetics and stress, I'd say. 2 young children, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Put
That
the hell in the
That
picture.
Definitely
marriage.
helps.
Um, yeah, so I'm the granddad of the team, so everyone's in their mid-20s, so it's a nice forward-thinking young agency to work in. So yeah,
And
it's
how
very
big? How big's the group?
So we are full-time 5 staff and have some other subcontractors as well. So yeah, we've got PP specialists, PPC specialists, website developers, etc. So Reese, the managing director, wears many hats like business owners do.
Yes.
So he fronts the sales side of things with me, but also is still very hands-on with the development side of things, as you guys very well know. So Reese will sort of tend to start the projects off with myself. That we bring in a client. We do weekly meetings with the
Which is
team,
great.
just to keep everyone updated.
I found that really useful because it is so easy to lose track and being business owners, getting distracted by something else. And then, 3, 4 months down the line, we were going to do a new website. But to have that consistency in that weekly meeting to get our website up and running was really good. And it
Yeah.
went well for us.
So we over the years they've tried and tested many different things, but since I've been within the business, it's a weekly meeting because it keeps everyone just in the loop.
Yeah,
More importantly,
focused.
exactly.
Yep.
But more importantly, it's that we're getting this done, and because a lot of agencies they'll start a website 4 months down the line, 5 months down the line. We're still waiting for content for them for the
Absolutely.
website, for
Yeah.
example. So it just becomes a prolonged experience for everyone, and it's not particularly nice. So as I said to you earlier, in an ideal world, we want to build someone's website and then work with them after. We want clients for life.
Yes.
In an ideal world. So we want to make the experience with the website as nice and clean and smooth as possible. So we feel a weekly website meeting just to keep everyone in the loop is where we need to be. We've also recently introduced a client portal, which you guys unfortunately didn't experience, but so what that does, it allows
I feel
some
a bit left out, if I'm honest.
I mean, oh yeah.
Can we join it now?
Yeah, we can. You can
Even though I know the way first time.
but more for us, it keeps us on in terms of everything's full transparency. So the client's able to log on like you do with BT, like you do with Sky. You've got a portal that you go into. You see your bills. You see what. For us as well, we all the tasks that we have on the website, for example. So I know put in X amount of pages. The client is able to see that as well.
Yeah.
So you can see what we're up to, even with our marketing retainers as well. Now we probably don't need that because me and you, Nikki, talk pretty much every day. So, yeah. What's going on with Google Ads?
Yeah, I get that in the ear.
Well.
I get it in the ear before you do.
Oh,
So don't talk to me. Talk to Joe.
so yeah, so we are the portal. We mean
Yes,
Nikki.
we are. Yes.
But yeah, so you can see what we're up to. So things like with SEO, like this month we've done this. So it's just full transparency for our clients.
But what I love about that and the fact that we do speak most days, there's always something that I think of and go, I'm going to ask Joe. He's my oracle of marketing in any form. But no, in all seriousness, the thing I do love about it is that it keeps it fresh, it keeps it going. Our journey is evolving. It's not just right. You've done a website. See ya. It keeps us going, doesn't it? And keeps us motivated.
Well, we try. I mean, I've said about the clients for life. So our customer experience is very important.
It's a journey.
Yeah, it's a journey. Yeah, it's very important to us. So we, as I say, we want our clients to experience the most smoothest, easy going, because business owners don't want to be tied down with, oh yeah, what does that look like? A lot of the time, and if it looks nice, I would assume you're fairly happy with it.
Absolutely.
But there's a lot of technical aspects to it in the background. So we create our websites that have things like conversion boosters. So we want the easiest customer journey for your clients.
Absolutely.
So whereas you might say, oh, this looks great, but for us, it's like, well, for the user, think of the user. Don't think of yourself. Think of your customer rather than how you experience the website. It's all about your customer and how they're experiencing. So what's the call to action? What are they experiencing? What's the information they're absorbing within the website? So it's all about your customer, not so much you. If that's
Absolutely.
No,
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
totally makes sense because
yeah.
what's the term you've used before, isn't it? It's our shop window.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That did originate from yourself, Joe, and I've used that ever since. That was quite a long time ago.
It's true. So your website is your shop window.
Yeah.
If you went to Tesco's and went in for, I don't know, pint of milk and there was no milk on the shelves, you'd walk straight back out, right?
Yeah.
That
And
is
that's exactly the same as a website. If you go in, can't find what you're looking for, your bounce rate, and the bounce rate is someone coming onto your site and then leaving quick, will be very high.
Yeah.
So you need the information very accessible and easy to find, with a call to action at the bottom. A call to action could be a phone number, a form fill. So
Yeah.
it's very easy to get a hold
I
of.
remember when we had a meeting up at your offices.
Yeah.
I said I wanted the call to action be at the top. I wanted it to be in the middle. I wanted it to be. So whenever you scroll through the page, you don't have to look for that call to action.
I think on your website, you've got 2 call to actions before you even move the mouse. So there's one in the top right, and then you've got one instantly. And every time you slide down, there's a call to action.
Yeah.
And the reason that is because we want the customer to call you. We want them to convert.
Mm.
We're all about conversion. Like a lot of agencies are like, oh yeah, we got you X amount of clicks. Clicks don't pay bills.
I don't care about clicks.
No, click doesn't pay your mortgage.
Do not
Click
pay my mortgage.
No. Exactly.
We've had this conversation before.
Right,
can
I can tell. Yeah.
Joe's like, yeah, but we've got X amount of clicks. I was like, that means nothing to me. They haven't picked up the phone. They haven't called me.
No,
so.
clicks aren't. Yeah, so we don't concentrate on the clicks. We're looking at conversion rates. We're looking at through cost per acquisition.
Yeah.
And that's what but we want return on investment, and that's what we care
100%.
about.
Yes,
Which is the
All the correct buzzwords there.
Yes.
Cost
Yeah,
per
yeah.
acquisition, return on investment.
which you guys know from doing doing this course.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
It's interesting what you said about retaining customers or customers for life, because it's not because Google's always changing things, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think what we did is because we set up the website and we just kind of left it.
Mm.
Yeah.
But also so did the company that set up a website. There was never any kind of the relationship we've had with you guys for the last 4 or 5 months is nothing like what we had for the last 9 or 10 years,
No.
and with a constant evolving way, the whole website's gonna have to probably change again, or how you manage it
Yeah.
in could be what, a year, 2 years time. Google just has to change.
Change.
Google just has to change something in an algorithm, and straight away you've got to change something, right?
That's right.
And that's where that customer relationship part comes in.
Yeah, and this is sort of taking the journey right back. If you think of Google's clients are you and I. So when we say to someone, as human beings now, generally we do. If someone says, look up so and so, you go straight to Google.
Yeah.
In fact,
Absolutely.
so Google is a search engine. You don't say, why don't you just type it in a search engine? You say, just Google it.
Yeah.
So Google has. I'd say
It's become the Hoover, isn't it? Like
exactly.
no one calls it a vacuum cleaner. So right, who's doing the hoovering?
Exactly.
And that's a brand.
It's just a brand.
That
Exactly.
even
But it's now known.
that everyone, even though everyone uses a Dyson now, you don't go right, go and Dyson it, do you?
Yeah.
Everyone
Just
still
be a
says
brand.
Hoover.
Yeah. I've been Dysoning. Was it?
Have you?
So Dyson. Dyson the house. Done what?
A chore in your house is the washing all the Hoover. It's not.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But
Google's
Google's there.
naturally, as humans, we'll go to a search engine, and predominantly, I'd say 8% of the time, unless you're using a Microsoft phone or you're an Apple,
Yeah.
you go to maybe Bing or maybe, but
Yeah.
you go to Google. So you Google it, and so Google has we're Google's clients. So when we're you on the platform of Google wants its clients to experience the best possible journey. So if you're going to a website and bouncing straight away, Google will see that as that's not a nice journey for my client.
Yeah.
So I'm going to score you down.
Down.
So you was
Need
on
to make
page
it
1,
better.
you're now page 2, and I mean, this is really cringy, and I don't even know why I'm going to say it, but they say the best place to hide a dead body is page 2 of Google. Right? There's nothing that's on page 2, right?
That's very
No,
true.
but isn't there I could be wrong, but I'm one of them. Who goes past the first 3 sponsored? They do, don't they? And then you get
You
they're always
do.
isn't there always sponsored before the organic thing kicks in,
Yeah,
right? Because
so-
you're paid to be at the. Is
Yeah.
that so? When people ring you up, say, "I guarantee you page 1 on Google," is that where you're effectively paying for it? Because
Well,
there's organic and then there's sponsored, right?
so even when you're running Google ads for a sponsored link and PPC, Google Ads PPC, you're never always guaranteed to be on that page
No.
one though, because it's a bidding strategy. So we spoke in detail for a
Lots
number
of
of times. So
detail on this.
in terms of, so with Google Ads, if you're running it with an agency or someone, there will always be two types of outgoings, and one is the management fee, and the second is the ad spend. So to be seen on Google. Now, if your ad spend is I don't know, £10 a day, and your average cost per click is £5, after them 2 clicks, you're not seen.
Right.
So you need your
Like
ad
literally, you
spend.
disappear to page 2, 3.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
well,
doesn't matter.
if you're on a sponsored link, you won't be seen. That'd be done for the day.
Right.
So there's a loads of different tactics and how to maximize your ad campaign, and one of them is being able to have the budget to be able to say, look, we
Right.
want to be which again, the conversation we had.
So there's someone like in our industry then. So I know that if I was to Google Fascias Milton Keynes, yes, I might come up. But we know for a fact Checker Trade will, for instance.
Yeah, so
So
you're
there,
fighting against
there's,
it. Yeah.
we are and we're not, because if they go onto Checker Trade, they could still find us, but it doesn't necessarily mean that's the case. But does that mean someone like Checker Trade, obviously a huge nationwide company, are spending a ridiculous amount of money to stay at that top spot?
Well, and here's, which leads quite nicely onto another service that we offer. So, sorry.
Yeah.
So it actually wasn't a deliberate link. Yeah, I'm just chatting.
So they have historic domain. What's the word I'm looking for? Not priority, authority.
Yeah,
authority.
yeah.
So people trust that site to Checker Trade. So
Yes.
so Google sees that as, wow, these guys are amazing. Now the reason they will be appearing on page one of Google is because of the SEO, so the search engine optimization.
Right.
What that means is they will have a strategy against certain search terminologies, so gutters, Milton Keynes, and because they're national, they'll be doing that for every location, for every service.
Yeah.
Within.
I was going to say there, because the amount of trades that are out there. You know, if we're looking for, say, fascia, soffit, gutter, cladding, and then you've got plasterers, painters, decorators,
Yeah.
tree surgeons.
Huge amounts, isn't there? Yeah.
It's because of the authority of the domain is predominantly why they are there. So again, going back to the point that we are Google's customers, and Google wants their customers to have the best experience.
Yeah.
It doesn't, otherwise it might use another search engine. Highly unlikely.
Because everyone's using or clicking on Checker Trade, they'll take that as
exactly.
they're a good journey for our
Yeah, well, and again, I mean, going back to the point we made earlier on in the podcast, it's tradespeople sometimes get a bad rap for being untrustworthy and stuff. So Checker Trade, and you guys will tell me better than I know about
Yeah.
Checker
We're on
Trade.
Checker Trade. Yeah.
That will you have to be you have to supply Checker Trade. You have to be a trustworthy business.
Yeah.
You do.
Checker Trade, right?
Yeah. And you have to keep your reviews up.
Yeah. And in fact, Google's recently just introduced, I'm not sure how recent it was, but is it Google has these Google guarantees. So talking about the landscape and layout of Google, now if you type in, I don't know, home improvements, Milton Keynes, you get these Google guarantees come up.
Yeah.
And they are very similar to Checker Trade. You have to supply them with your insurance details to show them
I've
that
not
you're
seen that.
trustworthy.
Yeah. So it's the same as Checker Trade. You have to be vetted by them.
Exactly.
So you have to
That's
fill out
across the board in terms of business. That's not just trade related,
It's,
right?
it's mainly focused on tradespeople.
Oh, is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Seen that. Yeah.
So
That's something else we have to sign up for, and you're going to sell to us.
you already have. You already have. You already have.
Sorry, did we discuss that? I don't remember.
No, yeah. Yeah. It's so yeah, that's something called Google Local Services.
Right.
Yes.
And again, that which leads, yeah. So
Yeah, we're doing that.
so it's very focused on. You don't need a website for that. You just need a Google My Business page.
Yeah.
So you need and on that you need to be generating good reviews, so 5-star reviews, and able to be seen and as a Google guarantee. So that's a different type of a Google ad. It still is a Google ad, but it's a Google local service ad.
Yeah.
So with that is different. So you're only paying per conversion. So if someone sees your ad as a Google guarantee and they action it, so there's a QR code that they can scan on their mobile, which calls it. At that point, you would be charged for the conversion, unless you say, oh, they just called up and looking for a bathtub. We don't do baths, we do gutters, etc. So you can contest it, but which is another great way to be seen and market yourself. So we as a business have just introduced this something called a tradesman package, which is a number of different services within the package. So we introduced local service ads for tradespeople. We introduce something called a global lead manager, which I'll get onto after this. And then it's either SEO or PPC. So if you're looking to really generate leads, we'd recommend you do PPC. If it's you just wanted to build nice and slow, we'd recommend to do SEO, because can be a very slow burner, 3 to 6 months sometimes to appear appear on searches.
Yeah.
Now I mentioned global lead manager. Now global lead manager is what we do every week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
We do have a weekly meeting
every week,
Thursday morning.
every Thursday morning. Yeah. So what that in? So what?
Poor Joe.
So
It's
what
not
what the
great.
lead manager is?
Go sick, mate.
It gives
Sorry.
it gives us full transparency about everything that's coming in.
Yes.
So whether that be form fills, phone calls, we're able to track everything in one location.
And I'm really, really happy with this. This
Yeah.
is really good. I like that level of detail, because that's the level of detail I've been wanting.
Yeah.
So I'm really pleased with that. It's great.
And this is what sets us apart from other agencies. We're able to give businesses full transparency on everything that's coming in.
Yeah.
So whether that be, oh no, we got that through a recommendation. Is like, no, you didn't. You got that through an SEO search that searched for soft
Called in at
kids.
2 minutes past 4 or
Exactly.
whatever, which is great. Yeah.
So on that, so it's able to record the phone calls of the phone calls coming in, as well as transcribe it. It's able to track every form fill that comes in. It's a great platform. So not only does it help with the transparency of all the leads that you're getting in, it also is able to help a business potentially if they're having problems converting the other end. So say if you had, I don't know, a sales team that you weren't too sure about, and you was unsure of how they're dealing with a lead when it came in, you'd be able to listen back to the conversations that they're having,
Which is great.
and say, look, your tone, your mannerisms are all wrong. Like,
Right.
that's not us as a business. We need to improve that.
Yeah.
So when you might need to,
Sorry, you're looking at me as if to say, right, we're gonna.
this doesn't apply to
Right,
you.
well-
This doesn't apply to you. You know.
But you're saying you can actually film. You can hear me.
If you was to answer the
Out.
phone when somebody
No,
call you,
phone, you would be able to hear me, so you'd have evidence to check
I
what
do
I'm
talk on the
talking
phone. Don't make out I don't actually pick up the phone.
it's only off the Google Ads
Sometimes.
Only off the Google Ads. So we're running Google Ads for you
Right.
guys, and if someone calls in and says, "Oh yeah, we're looking for yeah, it's quite a good example. The replacement stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, repair. Sorry.
Oh,
No,
don't
no,
do
mention
repairs.
that word.
Oh,
We do
repairs.
repairs.
No. But yeah,
Joe
but
now
we-
knows that.
Yeah, well, we now know that. Yes. But we noticed that a lot of people were calling in for repairs for you guys, and we were able to see that. So it's like, wow, a lot. From them phone calls, we were able to see the keyword that they were typing in, as if from the Google Ads.
Yeah.
And then we're able to look at that keyword and what that is actually generating for your return on investment. So for us, it's fantastic because we're able to see
great
transparent. Yeah.
Really.
So we then looked at that keyword, and most of it was gutter companies near me. So it's like, wow. So if we're bidding on this as a keyword for Google Ads, it's costing you, I don't know, sometimes
load of money.
up to £5 a day sometimes.
Yeah.
And if it's not giving you any return on investment for the data that we've already bought in from it, like, then we need to give you guys an educated
I thought you were
recommendation
going to say refund.
to
sorry.
say
No
we need to give you-
refund.
yeah, we need to give you an educated recommendation to say, look, guys, we would recommend that you don't bid on this anymore.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you could say, turn around to us and say, but in the past we've got good results from it, or we don't want to not bid on that. So it's more of a consultative conversation rather than do this, do that. We want to work with you rather than tell you what to do.
It's
But
like having that informed information, isn't it? So one of the things that we had when we were doing the website, wasn't it, was the word fascias. So for the last 10 years, on everything we've done, it's always been fascias
There's a plural.
as a plural. Now, these guys did their investigations and did what they needed to do behind the scenes. And actually, the better word that has more traction is fascia. So
We're lazy. Then we're about
simple.
to press the yes. Yeah.
Just a simple change is like on our website and so forth is actually building that traction and getting us more leads, because we use something that our customers are looking for, not what we thought our customers were looking for. So that was great.
There was also the other one, wasn't it? So you guys would usually say fascias and soffits, whereas soffits and fascias was actually
Yeah.
more traffic to the website.
Yeah, it was interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that's another thing that but that's more the SEO side of things. But
Cool.
yeah, it's just what the public search for is different to what you would think.
Yeah,
you
so
know.
it's understanding.
So we're
what
able
your
to see,
customers want.
yeah, we're able to find out what people are doing and searching for, and how much traffic it gets a week and a month type thing. So we're able to give you educated recommendations
Yeah.
to say this is how we should, even just the content on the website, because that's what Google's picking up on. So yeah, that's one of the things that we
One of the
offer.
many things.
One of the many things
Yeah,
we offer.
one of the many
Exactly.
things.
Yeah. So it just gives we're all about transparency and return on investment. So hopefully, I mentioned about clients for life. You stay with us for
Yeah,
many
absolutely.
years.
The
Yeah.
good thing about this podcast is I now know what we're paying for. I've just found out. It's only been 8 months, but yeah, I like the website, by the way.
Yeah.
The website's great.
I have looked at that.
Yeah.
It does look good. It
That's
is
that's a good
fantastic.
insight, and I've actually given your number out yesterday and given you a referral. Someone actually looked at our website. An old school friend of mine
Yeah.
who rung up and just said, "I really like your website," and he said my website's like, he said, "Yeah, it's crap, it's old and everything else." I said, "Do you recommend them?" And fortunately, I said, "Yeah."
Thank you very much.
Yeah, but-
Definitely said yes.
No, it is. But and then today I'll recommend doing more because now I know what I'm paying for.
Now he knows what's going on. But in all seriousness, we have really enjoyed our journey so far. Long may it continue.
Yes.
And you want to do a little plug on your website or your email address? Who would they contact?
So yeah, Global Exposure, Milton Keynes. My name is Joe. And my email is joe@global-exposure.co.uk. But just contact us via the website if you have any needs or any requirements, and we'll be happy to help.
Get in touch. Well, so far so good on
Thank
our
you, Joe.
journey, and we're really enjoying it. So thank you guys. We do appreciate
It's our
it.
pleasure.
And yeah, we'll thank Reese when he gets back.
When he
from
gets back from Dubai.
sunshine for his birthday. Well, he might still be there. We don't know. One of the things we really haven't delved into is what fascia, soffits, guttering, and cladding actually is. Now, Joe, I have to pull you up here a little bit here. But when we first met, one of the things Joe said, actually, I'm really not sure what it is, but I get you. And one of the words you used, was it suffix? Did you say suffix? Not
Prob-
suffix.
Well, I was going to pick. It's
So-
an interesting how we ended that with terms of the search words, because that's
Yeah.
what I was going through my mind is when people does it allow for spelling mistakes, or does it allow for what people's perception of the word is? So when people
Yeah.
search it, will it?
Well, Joe's not alone because I obviously get loads of customers call on a day-to-day basis, and I've had all different terminology for what it is and what it means, and you know that bit up the top of my house,
Yeah.
that bit's falling down. Don't know what it's called, but I want to replace that.
All they know
So,
is it's falling down and it's underneath. Look at it.
Or it's leaking.
the
Yeah.
overall word for us is roofline.
That's a
but
generic.
Under that generic term becomes fascia, soffits, guttering, and cladding. And I have to say, I've been doing this for 10 years, and I spent an eventful afternoon yesterday with one of our suppliers, and I spent the afternoon in their warehouse having a look at all the different products. So there are so many components to fascia, soffits, and guttering and cladding, and the team, bless them, on a day-to-day basis, they have hundreds. No one can actually tell me how many parts are needed for fascia, soffits, guttering, and cladding in its entirety. I genuinely believe there's hundreds of
Oh
components.
God, there's loads. Yeah. But you wouldn't even delve into that much detail when you're providing a solution for a customer, though.
Absolutely not. But it's a lot more complicated than what meets the eye.
It is when you're all
even just
material.
the conversation at the beginning,
Yeah.
it's very much like, you know, those bits around your house, fascia, soffit, suffix, whatever you want to call it. So I thought it'd be a good opportunity for us to actually talk about, well, Barry to actually talk about what fascia, soffits, guttering, and cladding really is.
Well, when I first started working with you guys, hold my hands up. It was like, yeah, we do fascia, soffits, and gutters. I mean, I think generally 99%
Everyone knows
what
guttering.
gutters is.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what they were.
No.
And
Nor did I.
no, exactly.
And not every
I'm the director of the business.
yeah. And not every house has it either.
No.
So
it's new builds.
no, it's not. It's nothing to do with it at all. It's you know, it's every house is designed different. Architectural designs I went to a job in Kingsmead in Milton Keynes yesterday, and the house hasn't got any fascia at all. It's just purely got guttering hanging on rise and fall brackets that come out of the side of the house.
Yeah.
The guttering's always going to be there,
Yeah.
because the guttering's there to catch the rainwater, to protect it, stop it running down, and then it runs to an outlet and it goes to a downpipe and into your drain. You never see it again.
And we need a lot of guttering in this country because of all the rain.
Well, that is the problem. And it's probably, other than rotten fascias, guttering is probably the instigator of a lot of our phone calls, because it's the one thing that you see very visually when it's leaking, or if it's failing, or if it's
And if it's really annoying, believe it or not, we currently have a leaky gutter in our own house.
I keep joking with her. I was like, do you know, come, cause, you know,
Is there repairs?
do you know what? No, you know what I say to her? I was like, we don't do repairs.
He's like,
Yeah.
we're still leaking back.
Include
repairs.
which include our own house.
No.
To be honest, with you, it's right outside our back door, and it's bloody annoying.
It is really, really
But
annoying.
we've
I
got
keep going,
really-
what's that noise?
This
What's that
time of
noise?"
year, the patio is really slippy, and there's no way I'm getting up there on a ladder.
I don't think you should get up there.
Scaffolding.
Stop.
The scaffolding.
Need a scaffolding, but
Safety first.
yeah, safety
Safety
first.
first. So yes, we don't do repairs,
Okay.
even our own home.
Right. So, well, like you said, the generic term or universal term is roofline. So, it can be made up in several different ways. But you've got your roof come down, and then
Bit of Blue Peter here.
here's one I made earlier, and at the end of your roofline, you'll have the rafter feet that come down, and at the end of it is a piece of fascia. That is what they call a full replacement fascia. So when we touched earlier about capping board, which is as thin as that, that's the thin piece of PVC that will sometimes
Covering over the old rotten wood.
go over the old rotten wood in a very thin piece
Do you
of
with
PVC.
fish, Joe?
Nothing
Yeah.
about that is strong. And if you think you're going to put a piece of gutter onto a capping board on here, that's just going to go through there, and that screw's got to fix somewhere. And what's it going to go into? The rotten fascia. And this is sometimes where
Why we
perhaps-
can't guarantee it.
well, we wouldn't do the work in the first
No.
place. But that's one of the big things that I would say to a customer is, well, one, I'm not going to do it, and if anyone is going to, how are they going to actually guarantee that work to say it's going to stay up there for any length of time?
Obviously, the fascia soffits and guttering is normally much bigger. But
Yes,
on this
Well, it does-
occasion, we
it
didn't
ca-
want to bring the 5
of
metre
course,
length.
it comes in
Yeah.
5 metre lengths. But when we write on our quote, full replacement is the technical terminology of that is a full replacement fascia board. It's a very rigid piece of structural PVC that is got strong enough to sit on the end of the rafter feet with fixings going through. into
And
the
we've held
rafters.
the element. We've held
Yes,
the
'cause
element.
the gutter's going to
well.
get attached to that
Yeah.
as well, and that's the important part to catch all of the rainwater. And it has a lip on it, and literally the soffit would go into that, and then your house.
But you would, and the team do it straight, not like Barry's version of this one. Keep it.
The thing do it, but it'll get, of course, it's in 5 metre line. The important part of when you do full replacement is not just taking off the old wood, because the roofing felt that goes under the tiles over the years, that used to overlap into the gutter, and that perishes too. So we actually strip back the first 2 rows of tiles to reveal all of that corroded felt, and we use a Stanley blade and cut all that off. That's then replaced with a PVC eaves tray that goes with a decent bit of felt that's left.
What's an eaves tray?
So that is a PVC piece of tray that goes up the roof and overlaps into the gutter. So
But why would I want that?
because it's protecting the rafter feet. So we're fixing this full replacement fascia onto the rafter feet, which is obviously wood, and wood can rot. But over
It's
the
an education.
yes, it is an education.
Yes.
Yes. So with all the rain that we get and the wind that blows against the house, that rainwater has a chance of being blown up the roof tile.
Okay.
So if that eaves tray isn't there and we've taken off all that old wood, that rainwater is now just getting behind the roof tile, and it's now getting the rafter feet wet.
Yep.
We've just made the customer spend a lot of money fixing this brand new PVC to that wooden rafter foot. So if that rots, I guarantee it doesn't stand a chance. So the important part, and any company worth their salt that's doing this properly has to be taking and getting eaves trays up onto those rafter feet to protect it, because it overlaps into the gutter. So
Okay.
that rainwater isn't getting behind, isn't dropping into the fascia and soffit behind, which could then lead into the cavity wall and cause all kinds of damage. So it's a key part of it.
Okay.
The second element is ventilation. So there's several ways you can vent a house.
And this is now a legal requirement, isn't it?
It's building regs.
Building
So
regs, sorry.
if
Building
if you're going to retrofit any roof line on a house, then you have to allow for adequate ventilation.
Okay.
So ventilation can be done in a soffit, So sometimes these soffits will come with a vented strip in them, and that'll allow airflow to go through the roof and over to the other side, and there's a continual flow of airflow. Or it can be done what they call an over fascia vent, and these are big trays as well, where it literally sits on top of the fascia. The last roof tile covers it, and you never see it. We prefer to use the over fascia ventilator because you never see it. Because if you have a vented soffit, and because it's white a lot of the time, sometimes it doesn't so much that doesn't really matter sometimes on a darker roof line, but air goes in, air comes out, it darkens. And over time, and because we're offering a low maintenance solution, on day one it looks lovely, it's all bright and white, but once webbing appears and once black, after a while, it looks a little bit unsightly. And we do a lot of jobs where people have already had PVC maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago that have had vented soffits, and they look awful.
Right.
And even though it's not rotted, it's just purely aesthetics, where people will now go and spend money on their house, and we'll switch them over to a plain soffit so that the ventilation goes through, and then that blackening and darkening over time as it goes through isn't going to be a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's generally in a nutshell what fascia and
Okay.
soffits do. Why full replacement is
Make a lot more sense to us now, Jay.
Makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
And I think when you start doing explain about that, Barry, like my house suffers really badly with mold.
Yeah.
And I have an assumption that it's because there's no air ventilation in the house.
Quite possibly.
Yeah.
Have you ever cavity?
Have you got vented soffits?
It's cavity.
Have you had cavity wall insulation?
We didn't. So we bought the house. It's and they had the cavity wall stuff. So
Right.
the house doesn't breathe.
Right. Now, there's two sides to that with cavity wall insulation. One where the government targets with CO2, all that kind of thing about making houses more efficient.
Mhm.
But there's also a reason the house had a cavity in the first place.
Yeah.
And it's obviously bridging that gap with moisture. Now, as soon as the problem is when they had things like the Green Deal years ago, and companies were offering it almost free of charge, and if certain means tested ways, you did get it free of charge. But there was this thing of just the more houses. I used to work for a company that did it. And the more houses you did, and you applied to get paid for it, obviously the more money in a day you could earn as a business.
Yeah.
So they were just going out and pumping this cavity wall insulation in the house. And
Anywhere.
if you overfilled it, and we do it with fascia and soffits, do you remember we had to go and buy that leaf blower that also sucked? Because it's like basically an outdoor Hoover.
Oh.
Hoover
Again,
yeah.
there you go, outdoor vacuum.
Sorry.
And you take off the fascia and the soffits, and you just all of a sudden this.
It was like Christmas.
Yeah, the cavity wall insulation. Sometimes it's like little polystyrene balls. Sometimes it's little bits of mineral wool, and it's all over their garden. And we're going up there, and that's the problem.
I was up there with the Hoover, hoovering it all up.
The Hoover again.
But that's the problem, is because they were doing it. They had to have like a little gauge on it that said, right, it's full, take it out.
Yeah, okay.
But these are just guys that are just pumping this thing, and if you overfilled it and it went into the loft, effectively, even if you've had new fascia and soffits, you're now stopping that airflow because, and then they were topping up 300 mil of loft insulation, and they were getting up in the loft and then they were throwing it all down there. And what I spoke about with that airflow that has to go through the roof, if that loft insulation is now 300 mil thick and it's blocking the eaves, then your cavity wall is completely full of insulation. You've suffocated your house.
Yeah.
And then the moment you put your heating on, depending on the age of your house or the age of your windows to whether you've got trickle vents that allow air through it, all of a sudden you've got condensation build up, and then you get mold. In this trade mastermind, we've got guys that specialise in mold, and they are absolutely inundated. He's having to franchise the business and everything because he can't handle the amount of inquiries they're getting because there's new laws come into how landlords should deal with mold and things.
There you go.
So that could be the reason.
Problem solved.
Now, what you can do with that from a ventilation point of view is you can either get things like vented roof tiles put in.
You might need new fascia soffits clustering as well.
Do you know?
Get that in.
No,
I might need.
I know a good team.
Yeah. And then we're digressing. So the other thing that we get phone calls about, and it's still with terminology, is sometimes people will call fascia cladding because it's on the face of their building, but the terminology that we recognise cladding as, sorry to reach over because here's another one I made earlier. We'll just put that up there for now. Won't get it out just yet. But cladding is, so you've got the facade or the face of your building, the face of your house. So most houses traditionally are brick built. But you'll see a lot of houses that, certainly in places like Bletchley, Newport Pagnell, that have what they call hanging tiles. So like a concrete tile, just like you've got on your roof, but they hang on the front of your house. Quite dated, quite old. Some houses have timber cladding, some have like Netherfield and that in Milton Keynes, all metal cladded. So that again, even though the metal don't rot or anything, the tiles start to look dated, the metal starts to look dated,
Yeah.
and certainly the houses with timber cladding will rot. Now, when we spoke about cavity wall insulation, houses that have got that typical type of cladding can't have the traditional quick drill pump in the cavity wall insulation. So the solutions that we offer, taking off of all of that old cladding, is then giving the house the opportunity to re-insulate it. Now, all of the cladding systems that we fit will be ventilated. So they'll be insulated, then there'll be a batten system, then the cladding, and then there's a gap, like the cavity wall, that shouldn't be filled because airflow is required to get through it. So vent is put at the bottom, vent is put at the top, and airflow continues. So you've still got that barrier of insulation that's now making your house more efficient, but with the airflow there, that isn't going to then create the suffocation of the house. And also the heat it generates, because we're using a foiled back insulation, it's also better for the summer months because it's repelling the heat too. So where a lot of people say, oh, I don't need more insulation, it's also better in the summer. So it's a win-win situation. But the biggest win situation is that a lot of people don't know about is it's also VAT exempt. Because it's an energy saving measure on a certain percentage of your home. If we're taking off all of the old cladding, insulating it, and then putting the new cladding on, apart from the scaffold costs, because that's a third party, the actual job itself becomes completely VAT exempt. And now 20% is a big chunk of money. So certainly if you're cladding someone's outside of someone's house, it's actually cheaper to insulate it than not. Because it's the 20%. All right, it's a little bit more material, it's a little bit more laborious, but some people say to me, oh, I don't need the insulation. I said, let me give you a quote without the insulation. And then they'll ring you up and go, I want to go ahead. With the insulation? Yes, please. So it's kind of a no-brainer. So one of the big cladding systems that we install, and this does...
And this is particularly popular, isn't it?
This is by far the most popular. It's the most cost-effective, most aesthetically pleasing. There you go.
Did you need me to...
21 different colours. It's a product called Hardy Plank. It's American. It's fibre cement. But traditionally, when we first started this, everyone had PVC cladding, and it was very basic. It was white, it was black, it was golden oak.
It was the most cost-effective, but it's not anymore, is it?
No, after COVID, all the prices went up, and everyone blamed Brexit and all those other kind of things.
Yeah.
White PVC is still by far the cheapest.
Yes.
But not a huge amount. The Hardy Plank product, whilst mimicking timber and everything else, it just looks so much more better, and everyone can see on our website.
It's aesthetically pleasing as well. And there's how many? 22?
21 different colours.
21.
And it comes in a smooth or a wood grain finish, or cedar finish, they call it.
What is that made of?
That's fibre cement.
Right.
And it's all 21 colours at the same price. Whereas you go over to PVC, if you want an anthracite grey, which is very popular, or black, or rosewood, more expensive than that product. But it's PVC, it's quite wavy. So if you get because it's going up traditionally, it goes up in long lengths cladding, it tends to go along the whole house. You need expansion joints everywhere, and if it's not fitted right, which a lot of people don't, it starts to look wavy.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a very rigid board. It goes up on a batten system with insulation behind it, and
it's our most popular cladding product. We've done other
by far.
things. We've done Marley Clicks, we've done UPVC, but by far, it's not because we push it. It is just something that's become very popular. And because it's got such a great choice of colours as well. And I have boxes of samples, and the most popular colour at the moment is grey.
Well, I'll tell you what's very popular with is new build. And so you go a lot of the new estates in Milton Keynes now over at White House Park and Oak Ridge, a lot of the houses here are, and I think there was a time, I don't know if it was pre-COVID or during COVID, where they were running, there was a period years ago, they run out of bricks. So they'd just do half the house in brick and then finish it off in Hardy Plank.
Yeah.
So it's become a very, and the good thing is a lot of the new builds really fitted it badly. And we've gone back and redone so many. Yeah.
That's worked well for us.
A lot of these storms we're having, people will ring us up and send us this picture, and they're missing like 7 square meters of Hardy Plank because it's been blown off because it hasn't been fixed properly. Because all of these things have a manufacturer's guide how you can fix it. But problem is with new build, it's just get it all up quick, put it held as quick as possible.
Because one thing I see a lot of cladding as well is, I think they're 1940s builds, the Tudor look. So
so that's mock Tudor, and you're right. It's an older style look, but there's so many housing estates in Milton Keynes that have it. I was just text you the other day, and I was on
Yeah.
Shenley Lodge. I was like, oh my god, there's mock Tudor
Mock
everywhere.
Tudor everywhere.
Now, again, it's terminology. A lot of people. I approached a house in Kempston with it the other day, and the lady said, look, I want to do something with this stuff that goes up and down, and it just doesn't know. She goes, I've been trying to Google it, and every time I Google cladding, all I get given is cladding.
Yeah.
I want to mimic that. What's it called?
Mock
That's
Tudor.
it's mock Tudor. But yeah, it's absolutely you can replicate it in a composite replica wood, and it has a metal composite panel that goes behind it, and it's becoming
Really?
not a lot. So many
Yeah,
people
really
didn't
popular.
know it could be replicated.
Yeah.
And you see a lot of people paint it, but if you've left it years and years and years, it doesn't matter if you start treating it and painting it
Yeah,
now.
it's too late.
Sometimes the rot's already set in,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you're just papering over the cracks, so to speak.
Yeah.
And we're getting more and more inquiries for that now. And I know it has appeared. It is on our website.
It is on our website.
Yes,
Barry.
I remember it was last doors. I was like, oh god, have we got mock Tudor on there?
It's on the website. It's in the brochure.
Because a lot of these houses that have got it, if you're on a street and everyone's got mock Tudor, and you suddenly go over to cladding, you stand out like a sore thumb, and two, sometimes there's covenants that says no, you can't go and change the look of your house.
Yeah,
Every house on
that's
this
true.
street looks the same.
Yeah.
So we need to give that service offering of giving the customer what they need, or what it is they actually require. Because there's so many that just go, I'll just cover over it with cladding. I don't want something anymore.
It is
but-
very aesthetically pleasing as well, isn't it?
It
It
is.
does look nice.
It does look good, and once you've done it in the low main, to be honest with you, other than the fact that it can't rot and can't corrode, it just looks like a brand new painted mock Tudor. It stands out, so it's a good looking product. And
So on the cladding.
Yep.
Cladding.
That's one of them.
Cladding.
That's the new one.
So on the cladding and mock Tudor, what if I was to get cladding on my house, for example? What is the lifespan of that?
Well, in excess of 40, 50 years.
Oh,
They'll never. You're never going to get a guarantee for that length
Yeah.
of time. But everyone thinks once you go over to something, you don't need to paint it. And yes, right, it doesn't rot, doesn't corrode. That it's zero maintenance.
Mhm.
There's no such thing as zero maintenance. Everything needs cleaning. You'll get dirt, debris, all kinds, bird muck. Yeah. So. And nothing needs. So same with gutter maintenance. You know, just because you've got new gutters doesn't mean that if you have new gutters in June and you get the leaves fall in November,
You need to clean them.
guess what? You're going to need to clean your gutters, and it's all very important part of if you're going to spend this money on it. Yes, you still need to maintain it. So we do recommend cleaning of it. But yeah, that's
Cool.
Just once then. So once in a lifetime buy, really, isn't it? Oh
yes.
Well,
Yeah, but look, 'cause-
depends how old you are. Really.
well,
Yeah.
there are PVC jobs of roofline that have just been fitted badly.
Yeah.
So it should be once in a lifetime, if you like, in
Yeah.
terms of our lifetimes and of how many times we move during our lifetimes, you know. But we still do jobs that maybe are 20 years old that, because they haven't been maintained or cleaned, it just gets to a point where the amount of times cleaning never going to make it look nice.
Yeah. Okay.
So
That's
we still, and that's the good thing about what we do is it's not just about rotten fascias, so there's a cycle, and you'll get your older houses that maybe had their PVC done back in the 80s or 90s that just needs a refresh, and it's about aesthetics rather than a demand. So that's just
Okay.
up to each individual what they want to do with their home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just thinking back to says us saying, "Oh, we want lifetime customers." I suppose your lifetime customer would be someone that you do their grandparents' house, and then you do the daughter, and then you
Yeah,
do the
and then you
children.
recommend.
Yeah.
Or they move house. We've done
Absolutely,
plenty of
Exactly.
they move house
Yeah.
and they go and do it again and hopefully use us. So we've definitely had repeat business from customers that have moved houses and landlords.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
so if you can get in with a few landlords that have got a number of properties that need maintenance, then that's always handy as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
So the
doing a
theory
good job in
behind
the
our
first place.
customers, if you do a good job in the first place, you probably don't see them again unless they're recommending something
Exactly.
else. So that is our theory behind it, isn't it?
Okay, well, hopefully the little lesson there on cladding, fascia, and soffits was a little bit clearer to understand. And but the key part is if you want to know more about it, then you just call me at HomeFix. I come out, I'll have a look at it, and we'll talk more in detail.
Absolutely. So because of that, and because we wanted to talk a little bit more this podcast about what we actually do, what it looks like, that kind of stuff, it's Guess the Picture Challenge.
Okay.
As I said, I was walking around the warehouse yesterday. I've got photos of products and a few other little photos thrown in there for good measure. So what I want you both to do is take a guess. Now, Joe, you don't do this day in, day out. So, your guess Doesn't
Joey,
need to be, doesn't need to be as specific as Barry's, but from Barry, I want the exact product of what it is. So what's going to happen? A picture is going to come in of a product or an item of some kind.
Okay.
It's going to come up on the screen here. So what's happening first is a zoomed in product.
Mhm.
Quickest one gets to answer as to what it is.
Cool. Let's go.
Let's go.
So, ready? Steady.
That's
Joe got there first. Cladding. Yay. Well done, Joe.
Can I be more
What-
precise? It's hardy plank cladding.
No, I said Joe didn't have to be specific. There you go. Hardy plank.
I can give you the colours
but
as well.
hardy
if you want.
I don't.
That's anthracite grey and
Stop
cobblestone.
24, 124.
Joe got there first. So point to global exposure here.
All right.
Right. Next one. Ready? At the buzzer. Ready?
Chocolate.
No, that's not chocolate, I'm afraid. Barry, what is that?
A stop end.
Can we zoom in on that?
Zoom
Zoom
out.
sorry.
Oh, it's a piece of gutter.
It's OG.
OG gutter. Yeah.
Barry.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so no.
It definitely looked like chocolate though.
It did look
You made me hungry.
Yeah.
Tell 'em.
So far, 1 point to Joe, to global, 0 to HomeFix. Come on, Barry.
All right.
Right, next one. Let's go.
It's cladding again.
Oh,
Oh, hardy plank.
I
It
think
was hardy plank
so.
cladding.
But what colour is that?
That's-
then, Barry?
that's,
You have to answer it specifically.
Midnight black.
Okay. I'll let you off. So
No, it's not.
Ooh.
No, not. That's Marley.
that is.
That's
Yeah.
that's dark brown Marley.
Yes. So
Half
no point.
Half point.
No point to HomeFix. Well, it's cladding, so you got half a point. So we've got one.
I remember that house. That was a good one. See how
That's a
good,
nice
see how good
picture, that.
cladding looks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I recognise that picture.
It's on the website. You
It's on
should
the
It's on the website. Yeah.
Right, go on then. So we've got 1.5 points so far. So currently global exposure in the lead. Let's go.
Brilliant.
Oh,
Getting done. What on earth is that?
Oh,
Tudor.
mock Tudor.
Yes.
What is it?
Oh no. That's...
You never gave me the
What
chance
is
to
that?
answer.
Oh, right, yeah.
Why is it upside down? That's
What
a
is
bit
that?
cheap. That's a stop end. That's an anthracite grey stop end outlet.
There you go. But he didn't get there first, so he lost the opportunity.
Yeah, but I get the point because it's upside down.
Right, okay, Barry, it's just a competition.
Well, I like to win competitions.
Just a bit of fun.
It's a competition, exactly. You got to win.
I'm a Tottenham fan, for goodness sake. Let me win
Yeah,
something.
but you both are as well, so
Barry,
We're
so-
both
oh,
Tottenham fans.
but you're both so competitive right now.
Let's not talk about
Right, no.
Yeah, we're not
Next
talking
one,
about-
moving on. Come on,
it. Oh,
That's
go on then,
bald-
Barry,
that's-
answer that one.
that is a bald head.
Who's bald head?
It was going to be my bald head. Is that why Lucas was hovering? You know what? I was in the office yesterday, and Lucas was hovering behind me, and I'm like, "What you doing? What you doing?"
I knew he'd find it too obvious if I did it, so I sent Lucas in to do the mission.
It's a cross between a head and an actual egg, isn't it?
my guess was going to be Mars.
I think that might have been better.
Oh, is that actually how my head
That is
looks?
how the back of your head looks. There you go, Barry.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Anyway,
Mm.
I mean,
So-
I think
Move
it's
on.
quite an attractive head back.
Beautiful bald bunts.
Bold
Lovely.
people.
Yeah, absolutely. Works for Jason Statham. Works for me.
Right, next
Move on,
one,
move
on. Oh,
Balloon leaf guard.
in what colour?
Oh, black.
There
I
you go.
only do it in
Okay,
one colour.
Finally, a full point to
Yay.
HomeFix. Well done, Barry.
Have you got this written down? How do you know what it is?
Because it says
At
that.
least it ain't upside down this time.
Yeah.
What is it? So what is that?
It goes over the outlet to stop leaves going down it.
Ah, okay.
There you go.
Cool.
It's an education. this.
This is all
Well,
education.
Okay.
leaves, moss, all kinds of different
There
things.
you
But it stops the outlet getting blocked.
Next one. Oh, that was a tiebreaker. What do I do now? I'm sure you both hit that at the same time. What do I do?
Say it at the same time.
Go on then.
Soffit.
Home fix van.
Oh,
What do you think? The soffit's got G? Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Okay.
good.
There you
My van with the duct tape around the wing mirror.
I forgot. I should have
Brilliant.
taken that bit out.
Yeah, it's going in for repairs. So,
Yeah. Barry's bad driving. Anyway, moving
You
on.
made that obvious with the letter G in it.
Oh no, I was thinking, what is that? Though? Yeah.
That's on the website too, Joe. Just saying.
Oh, is that-
Anyway, next one. Buzzers at the ready, guys. Oh, Barry got there first.
Gutter brush, isn't it?
Okay, yeah, he got that one.
Brushes.
So what does that do then, Barry? What do we use
Yeah,
that for?
Gutter brush, similar to the balloon, it stops blockages, but it goes across the entire length of the gutter. So the theory is that any moss or leaves that fall from the roof doesn't clog into the gutter and simply falls to the ground. Doesn't always work though.
Do they not just stick to it?
Sometimes,
Sometimes,
yeah. We did a job yesterday where we took the gutter brushes out, and there's so much moss on this roof that the gutter brush itself needed. Theoretically, it did stop it blocking the gutter, but it's not. It's an okayish product.
Yeah.
We don't. It's not something we particularly push a lot, but some customers do prefer to have it.
Request it. Yeah,
They do request it.
To me, it just looks like a bottle.
When you
yeah,
when you
toilet brush.
when you go on the Hedgehog Gutter Brush website or the Flowplast website, it only offers a 5 to 7 year guarantee, so it doesn't actually last the guarantee of our installation anyway.
Okay, so that was a point to Barry. So how many points have we got?
Loads. I'm about 5-1 up.
No. I think you're cheating a bit there. I'd say 3-1.
3.5.
3.5. Yes. Okay.
It's not
Let's go.
not really
Next
fair on him though.
I know, but it really does mean you need to get the right answers.
That's your hair, Nikki.
Oh, I was going to say it's a horse's tail.
That was on the website too. Yeah.
It was. There you go.
Why are you sat at my desk?
Moving on. 2 to Joe, 3.5 to Barry.
Still a horse's tail.
Oh. Your buzzer?
Is it a
Just take a guess.
deep flow gutter?
Deep flow gutter. It is.
How
Deep
on
flow
earth?
gutter. Well
on
done,
Did
Barry.
you get that?
Because of that's a shallow gutter, and because it was sitting so deep that it had to be deep flow. So, but that's
Go.
Wow.
I'm nearly 20 years, so come on.
Yeah.
We should have done this with a team.
Yeah, probably.
They would have won.
No, they'd have took the mickey out of me and say, "Well, how would you know?" But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. So another point to you. So you are 4.5 to 2. Yeah.
okay.
Let's go. Buzzers at the ready.
I'm catching up.
Over to Joe.
Fascia.
And it is.
White square downpipe.
Oh.
I was
sorry,
close. It's
Joe.
part of a downpipe component, so I get off.
And what's that component for?
That's a 112-degree bend.
Wow.
There you go.
That is precise.
That is, yeah.
Or common
That's how
note
he has
as a
to
swan
answer
neck.
it.
Okay.
Swan neck,
Yeah.
yeah. It is quite funny. Everyone has different terminology for these components. And last week I was asked for a butt joint. I was like,
So
have to
one
be-
time of business.
yeah.
You have to be really careful how you say that one.
Yeah, okay. But apparently, what actually is a butt joint? We call it a joiner of some kind.
Oh, like a
But-
water butt.
No,
It's a component.
a butt
for it.
joint is where two pieces join, so that they abut,
Yes.
and then
Right.
there's
It's actually the supplier that calls it a butt joint as well. We don't. We have a more
we move on.
politically correct version of it. Yes, moving on. Okay.
Butt joint,
Over to you, Joe.
A gutter.
Okay.
An OG gutter.
Yay.
Yeah.
Point to you. There you go. It is a
Square gutter.
Square gutter in
What's that?
black.
I just blooming had it in my hands a second ago. Look.
Do you want that before you, Barry?
Oh no, yeah, he did.
You're a bit of a letdown. Come on.
Oh
now.
come on, all right.
You've been doing this for how many years?
Was four? What is it? 4.5 to 3.
3. Yeah.
All right.
Four? No, 4.
Better get cracking now.
4.
These points are
Half-
going out the window a bit.
Yeah.
I should have taken a tally. Right, moving on. Next one. Barry,
Fascia.
what type of fascia though?
Square edge like that.
But what
White
type?
square edge fascia.
What type of
Full
fascia?
replacement
Thank you,
fascia
Barry. Full replacement fascia. Yes, there you go.
and square edge.
For that,
There you go. Look.
5.5 to 4. Are we now?
Yeah, I think.
5.5 to 4. Next one. Moving on. Buzzers in.
God, is there any many more? Half round gutter. Black.
You didn't press your buzzer.
Black half round gutter.
Don't say black. Okay, and the answer is Barry got it wrong.
What?
It's half round gutter, but it's grey.
I'll do one.
So he gets only half a point for that.
But
You should know better.
Imagine,
That was
it
grey.
might be grey in. It's grey
Do you want to
inside.
borrow your glass?
Gutter's grey inside.
No, it's grey. I
Lie.
can show you the actual picture of it if you
Yeah.
like. Anyway,
Anyway,
so no point on
go
that
back
one.
to the horse's tail.
No, Joe got a point on that one. Joe got a point on that one.
I can't claim that. But anyway.
It was half round gutter.
Anyway, go on.
I
Don't
think
any
we're,
more.
we're head to head now.
Downpipe. Black. Round.
And it is. Okay, I'll let you have that one. Oh, he's so smug.
I ought
He
to.
should be
Come on.
smashing this. Next one. Joe, you got there first.
I'm going to go for a soffit.
Okay, and the answer is
A fascia.
Fascia.
And
fascia.
that's out of order because that you got to zoom in and show the grey.
All right, chill out.
That's
Yeah,
just showing
fascia.
that.
No, it's grey.
Oh,
That's just showing
taking
that
it
again.
Too seriously.
You took me the points off me a minute ago,
No, no,
saying I had to be grey.
no.
That's
No points.
crap competition.
0 points in scrap competition. Can you hear him? Too competitive. Is this a bit like Tottenham playing? Sore loser. Anyway, moving on.
Deep to shallow connector.
Ah,
Boom.
okay. Point for that one. So when you get shallow gutter to deep gutter,
When you're connecting
connected
semi-detached or terrace
neighbours
houses
to each
you go-
other.
yeah,
Neighbours to each other. No.
yeah.
neighbours to each other. You're just neighbours. Everybody.
Fair enough. Okay, moving on. So that was a point to Barry. What is this one?
That's an inspection or rodding hatch. for-
You didn't press
for
your
down-
buzzer though. No one's buzzed.
Inspection hatch or inspection rodding point.
What is that?
So at the
Explain
bottom.
what it does now, Barry. No,
So at the
it's-
bottom. So for people that, if leaves are going to fall down and block up your downpipe, and that bottom pit goes into the drain, you've got actual hatch there to inspect, and you can so that, like a drainage expert could just rod. So rather than take the whole downpipe off and clear the drains, you can just rod down it. Very rarely gets used.
That is the correct answer, I'm afraid. Moving on. Next one. Come on, Barry. Go on
Right.
then, Barry. What is it?
That is a white square stop end.
And it is.
No, it's a 135-degree bend.
He got it wrong.
So what was that? What would that be used for then?
So rather than a 90, if a house has got sort of a bay window,
Mhm.
which has got a slight curve in it, you need a 135-degree
Okay.
bend to go around the corner.
Gets you around the corners.
Cool, there's
A 135-degree
See?
bend.
Told ya.
Yeah,
Hundreds of different components.
any order you make's got hundreds of components to it. Yeah, that's why it's easy to make mistakes. That's why the team have a go at me all the time.
Yeah. So is there a specific product for every angle?
Not every angle.
Not
You'd have to
No,
be locally made.
no, but fortunately, the way houses are built, it tends that most angles
Yeah,
they
okay.
make, they've already been
Yeah.
designed to make it work.
I
So,
think in
yeah.
the 10 years we've had to purpose make about 10 items. Not,
Yeah,
not-
probably.
So over
Oh,
10,
okay.
yeah. So
Yeah,
it's-
yeah.
yeah, pretty much there's a component for everything that you need.
Mm,
And there's loads of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, so
That's our
This is
HomeFix
the-
logo.
Joe,
I'm gonna
you
go.
push
I'm
the
gonna
buzzer.
go with a top.
With what?
The HomeFix logo.
HomeFix logo. You said the HomeFix logo, right?
Yes, the
Yes.
HomeFix logo.
There you go. And the answer is the HomeFix
HomeFix board.
logo. The board. Yes. These go up on all of our
God,
scaffolding.
Nikki doesn't
at
want
every
me to win, does she?
I
Good
expected to
God.
do better. To
Well, I
be
did.
honest.
I actually said it. I just forgot to.
Yeah, you had to
Yeah.
press your buzzer. There's rules to these games, you know. So yeah, they go out on every job that we do, and our scaffolders put them up for us, or the team put them out. Just it helps us for future customers.
Recommendation.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. There you go. That was good fun. Well done.
Okay.
You
Thank you very much.
won.
Yeah. Well, I
Great
ought to. I've
runner-up,
been doing-
considering
Yeah,
you've
not
only been
bad.
doing this a while with us, and Barry's been doing it for a long, long time.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Well, thank you everyone for listening and also for watching. If you're watching it on what do we put it on YouTube?
and a
Um,
big thank you, Joe, and Global Exposure as a business for joining us today. We've
Thank
had
you for
great
having us.
fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Glad you've
Fun.
enjoyed it.
We hope that it's been a little bit more educational on this one. We've got our next podcast probably coming up in
Much.
a month's time. But what we would like you to do in the meantime is don't worry about it being January, February, weather being bad. We're still here fitting fascias, soffits, cladding, insulating your homes whilst it's still winter. And so give us a call. 01908 631 676 or the
Or
website.
check out our website at www.homefixmk.co.uk.
You don't even have to do the www.
I know.
You can just Google it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
just Google it. Or check us out or follow us. Please do follow us on our socials. We are on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, you name it,
Reels,
we're pretty
everything.
much on it. So yeah, follow us.
When we say we, it's pretty
Don't-
much me, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much based on all of it.
Sorry, and apologies in advance for the amount of times you have to see my face on Reels and TikTok. Oh, and big thank you for all of the support, because we have now just hit 1,000 followers on TikTok, which means something. Like our son kind of
live.
What does that mean? What does go live mean? Just literally go live on TikTok.
Yeah.
Like I could go on live on TikTok right now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, but
No,
yeah,
don't.
just like that.
Yeah.
But also a plug for Global Exposure as well. If you need their services, don't hesitate to get in contact on
global-exposure.co.uk or search for us on Google.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, guys. See you next time.
Enjoy your spring.
Bye.